It's the book of 1 Corinthians 7:7. So for I would that all men were even as myself, but every man hath his proper gift of Yahweh, one after this manner, and another after that. Shalom, shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Yahweh being the true name of Heavenly Father, Yahushai being the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, taught us truth and will well, and citation to Jehovah that puts truth and honesty, sincerity. Spread the Yahweh because no less the spirit power help us feel shy, no less than going into words of wisdom and advice. And this precept, Paul is talking about being as himself, which he chose not to deal with women or be married. Okay, so I'll read it again. It says, "For I would that all men were even as myself, but every man hath his proper gift of Yahweh, one after this manner and another after that." So not everybody can do that, live that way, but he's giving advice that it's best to live as he is, as he does. Okay. And it says that all men, okay, so it's good for all men if they could, and brothers in this truth to be as himself. Why? Because we're going to go into it, going into the curses. All right, first one here is when dealing with women, what comes is children. Okay, and because of the curses, you won't be able to enjoy your children. Your wife, your woman, your child's mother will eventually get a spirit put on her to turn against you. This is Ecclesiastes 3:9. It says, "For the blessing of the father establishes the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations." Right? A father will build a family, build a home. The family will be happy. Everything will be going cool and smooth. But what happens is that curse kicks in on the mother, and she rooteth out the foundations. And when you don't have a foundation of a house, what happens to that house? It crumbles. It fails. So this right here tells you that the mother, the woman you have a child with, will destroy the family, and that's a curse. Why? Because we broke the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So as Israelites, the women that we deal with, it's they're destined to have a spirit to come against you. So unfortunate, but that's just the truth. That's what it is, man. So you just have to be very cautious and try not to even have children if you can bear it. Jeremiah also warned us of this as well when he was prophesying against the wicked kingdom of that time period. We're living in another just as equally wicked place. So the warnings of Jeremiah apply for here, Babylon the Great, America as well. Okay, verse 2 says, "Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place." So it's best to not take a wife or not have sons or daughters in this place. Why? Because of the destruction that can happen to them. Verse 3 says, "For thus saith Yahweh concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning the fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth." Okay, so why? Because during the time period of Jacob's trouble, that's going to be all hell breaks loose. World War III, basically Armageddon, martial law. So when you have kids, and you're not protected by Yahweh Shemel Shai, or even if you are, you can risk losing them, in the judgment day that's to come. So it's just not worth it. He's warning you against it. Okay, so this should put in fear. When I had children in this place, you know, I knew the scriptures. I was like, it's terrifying to have them. All we can do is pray over them and hope that the Lord protects them, and that also motivates us, those that do have kids, to serve Yahweh Shai as best we can, because we want our seeds to be protected. But then ultimately, you don't know if your child is going to be of the hopeful elect or not, or the 1/3. Your child could be born of the not chosen, and taste of the things that's on this list. So it's very scary, man. So it's better to not try to raise a family in this place. Okay. Another downside of being married. This is a part of the curse of the mother that rooteth out foundations that we read in that other scripture. This is Amos 7:17. It says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land." Okay, so thy wife is going to be promiscuous and cheat on you, be a whore in the city. So your wife being unfaithful, stepping out on you is part of that curse. This is the part of the curse of the mother that's going to root out the foundations. The spirit will hop on these women to do this. And when you meet them, they might not even be in that spirit. They could be in the quote unquote right spirit and be cool. But then a demon just hops on them that they can't control, you can't control, for them to just switch up on you 180. And next thing you know, they pursuing other men. Okay? And look at how easy it is for them to do it, especially living in America. The independent woman mindset, the Beyonce spirit to the left mindset has been pushed on all these women's minds, brainwashed, especially the Israelite woman, so-called black woman, the head of all of it. But it trickles down to all the Israelite women, the so-called Latinos and the Native Americans. They all believe in that they can have multiple partners and leave the men that they're with and go pick and choose and go be with other men. That's off according to the scriptures. They're supposed to be with one man only, one husband, but they don't follow that. And even those that do know the scriptures and what I just mentioned, that they're only supposed to have one, they'll redact on that too later on. This demon is heavy that gets on them to become a harlot in the city. It says, "And thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword." Right? We talked about how the war is coming up. Also, growing up before the wars, the things that kids choose to follow the wrong path, come involved in gangs or drug dealing, or just be shot down by in police brutality, on some racism type shit. That can happen. Or they can suffer from the other sword, Esau's poisons, cancer. It says, "And thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land." So that's another curse, another reason why you should avoid it. Okay, another reason why to just avoid, try to avoid the relationship stuff, man. This is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." So, it means the Lord allowed the spirit to be created of these women being masculine and taking over the roles of men and having authority over men. You got women that are in the court systems that are judges, women that are police officers, women serving in the military, in the household, just all types of reckless and evil, submitting their authority over them, not being submissive, not being in their roles how they're supposed to be. out here driving vehicles and going and buying real estate and homes. And I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I don't need you. I don't need you. That's the mentality of these women. So another reason, just avoid them altogether, man. Just avoid them altogether if you can bear it. Now, that's not necessarily something that everybody can do, but if you do it, we're going to read about it. 1 Corinthians 7:28. But, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. So there you go. So he says, yeah, you can do it. You're not committing a sin if you choose to marry, but you're going to have trouble in the flesh. And if you're a prophet, I'll tell you right now, if you're out here in the highways and hedges teaching this word, you do not need that trouble in the flesh. We have enough trouble in the flesh as it is. And one of the elders put out a lesson going into it. It can be overwhelming trouble that can cause you to fall out the truth if you're not fully grounded and built up enough. It can pull you right on out. You see men chasing behind women and fall out behind women, and they think they doing something. They don't fell out the truth, fell out doing the work, chasing a woman, trying to make her happy. And the next thing you know, because of the curse, they're still not going to avoid it. You get about a year later, 2 years later, divorce. She took everything you got, cheated on him. So that you fell out the truth to make her happy for what? That's why, brothers that are grounded in this thing, I'd be damned if I sit up here and try to follow a woman and go please her over Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And once you be in that mentality of you're not going to let a woman pull you out, if you are dealing with a woman, she's going to attack you, really going to become a demon, really come against you. She's going to betray you. Because women, they love the power that Esau has given them. They're obsessed with it. And the main thing that they use for power over the man is children. So they'll try to have a kid with you just to get power over you and control you. In the future, they feel like, oh, well, he's going to do everything I tell him to do if I have a kid with him. And if he don't, I'm going to punish him with his kid. I'm going to put that nigga on child support. These are the things that the mentality of what they think. It's evil, but it's the curse. It's the curse that rooteth out the foundation of the family. The man's always going to build the family, have the house ready to go, have the structure. Everyone's happy, good to go. But then that curse starts kicking in. Nothing's ever good enough for that woman. Starts getting bitter. Starts becoming wicked, and then doing everything piece by piece, little by little, that's out of order to the point where she's all the way out of order on every single step, every single plane. So that's the curse that we're living in. And it can be heartbreaking because brothers, they do want that type of company, and they want the comfort of a wife and somebody cooking for them, rubbing their shoulders, maybe massaging their feet, giving them some good sex in the bedroom, wake up to some nice, warm piece of ass next to you, get some in the morning, get up, get some breakfast, have little kids running around, looking at them and enjoying them. That's what brother wouldn't want that, man. Come home after, prophesying and tired and got a hot meal ready to go. That's what brothers want, man. But guess what? If you try to pursue it in this time, and this side we living in, you might get it for a temporary time. But that shit gonna flip up because you cannot avoid the curse. You cannot avoid the curse. Okay, so it's better to just deal with these women and keep them in concubine status. If you are been in this truth for a long time, you know. Now, granted, if you come into this thing and you're already married, then it might be a little bit easier. It might not, you know. But if you come into this thing and you're not married and you don't have a woman, don't even seek one. Okay. Now, some of the women that follow, you know, the Israelites and the Brothers of Great Millstone may not like to hear that because they want husbands. Well, if you want a husband, then it's on you, women, you're going to have to really prove yourself, because not all women are off. You know, brothers might come across, you know, a diamond in the rough, but you're in the rough, women, you know, and we're tired of shoveling shit. So, you know, of course, we're going to have a side eye on you, and you ain't about to just be welcomed in super quick because you got a head wrap on. No, you're going to have to serve your man. And even if he got you in concubine status, you're going to have to accept that, you know, and till you prove yourself, that he might say, hey, okay, cool, she's 1 point. She's my wife, you know. But the brothers that's preaching, we're not going to be out really looking for that, man. That's going to become handed to us more prevalent in the times of when all hell breaks loose, Jacob's trouble. Because even women that claim to be in the right mind right now, y'all can't avoid that curse either. You really can't. I mean, you think you're going to be good and you're going to deal with a man. Next thing you know, you start doing shit that you can't even explain why you're doing it and why you're thinking it. And you just straight up coming against your man, giving him hell, because that curse gonna kick in, man. You know, that's why it says, nevertheless, you shall have trouble in the flesh. So it's better to avoid the trouble in the flesh. You know, men, if you want that, you know, just be patient for Jacob's trouble. And Isaiah 4:1 gonna kick in. You're gonna have 7 women coming to you, begging to have your last name, begging to be married to you, and they're not gonna be pretty. I mean, it might be pretty, but they're gonna be very nasty, dirty, smelly, because it's gonna be a time of trouble. Okay, that's why it says if they just take away our reproach, but the time of reproach is coming to these women. So just be patient, you know, and try to avoid the whole relationship, married and bullshit right now, because it's just gonna be. You can't avoid the curse, man. You can't avoid the curse. And for you women that might be tuning in that don't have no husbands, you know, cleave into a brother of Great Millstone. You know, don't take any offense to the fact of the things I just mentioned. You can be placed in wife status, but you're going to have to be patient for that. And you're going to have to just prove yourself and serve that man and deal with him. You know, you're not supposed to have a jealous mind anyway if he does deal with other women. If you want to be on the team, then you got to make the tryouts, man. Try to get on the roster. You know? So, with that, Lord's will, this lesson is edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, Great Millstone, Tasha Truth and will. So I teach you, hopefully, push this truth in all sincerity. Shalom.